Welcome, listeners, to a night of wonder. This is the Two-Timer series, Collective, a collection of different genres created by D.B. Watson. In this program, you will hear a different tale once a week read by me, A.J. Carter. If you enjoy any of these stories, please give us a follow. Thank you and enjoy. Release. Justin loved working for Adam's detective agency as his assistant. Only Adam's suitor, the wealthy prince of the city, Patrick Valdez, was too much to handle. Adam moved his new lover into his apartment above his place of work. After another day of bumping heads with the blue blood, Justin stormed away with a sour taste in his mouth. Who the fuck does he think he is? That overrated rich boy, he snarled to himself. The day was ending, and Justin needed release. A car horn distracted him from his stress when an SUV sped to a stop beside him. At the wheel was his fuck buddy Ethan, a local skater boy. "Ethan, what the fuck are you doing here?" Justin tried to sound annoyed. "What do you think? Get in." "I'm not in the mood, Ethan." Ethan couldn't contain his laughter. "You? Not in the mood? Who the fuck are you? I thought I was talking to Justin Shee." Justin tried to keep his smirk in by turning his head away, but was caught by the utter nonsense of his statement. "What about my car?" "It's not on a meter. I'll bring you back in time for work tomorrow." Justin thought Ethan would be a one-time buck, but turned into an addiction that Justin couldn't shake. He climbed in and refused to give the skater boy the satisfaction of looking at him. "Where to?" he asked, feigning interest. "Oh, wouldn't you love to know?" Ethan teased, pressing the accelerator and jerking Justin back into his seat. When they arrived, Justin saw a dilapidated 3-story house. "We're here," Ethan exclaimed, climbing out. "Where's here?" Justin asked, opening his door and stepping out with skepticism. "The place we're having a rave." "A rave? Here? Why not?" "Ethan, look around you. We're in a residential neighborhood. Raves are usually in places where no one can hear you, especially the cops." "Oh, you little faith." Ethan stepped to him and draped his arm around his shoulders. "Look around you and tell me what you see." Justin rolled his eyes as he glanced and saw several single homes of the same statue yards and private driveways. Much like the home he grew up in with an alcoholic father and a mother in denial. "I see family homes." "True, but listen to this." Ethan stepped from him and cupped his mouth, screaming as loud as he could. "Help!" Justin rushed at him. "Ethan, shut up!" he cried, trying to cover his mouth with his hands. Ethan jerked away, avoiding his attempts. "No, don't kill me! Please, I'm begging you!" "Ethan, that's not funny!" Justin said, pushing him away. Ethan laughed uncontrollably before calming down and seeing Justin's sore expression. Ethan copied Justin's expression. "See anyone?" Justin waited to see if anyone would come out to check on the noise or hear a dog barking, but all was quiet. "Wait, what's going on?" "Nothing," Ethan answered. "What? Ethan, what are you talking about?" "The neighborhood has been condemned." "Condemned?" "That's right." "Why?" "Gas leak." "There's a gas leak here?" "From what my cousin told me, it happened a month ago at this very place, so the city relocated everyone. All of these houses are empty." "No way." "So way. This goes on for 4 blocks. "And you brought me here? You son of a bitch!" Justin tried to swing at him. "Wow, language!" Ethan said, catching Justin's arm, hooking him in a spin where Ethan was now behind Justin with his arms pinned across his chest. "Ethan, let go!" Justin struggled. "There's no danger," Ethan whispered in his ear. Justin stopped fighting. "You just said there was a gas leak." "Yeah, a month ago, remember?" He released him. "Do you smell any gas now?" "No, but gas can be odorless. My cousin gave me the scoop. The leak is fixed. They were going to let people back in, but not until next month. Until then, this is a ghost town up for grabs." "What about the police? You see any around?" "They kept this out of the media, so the cops only patrol the area twice a day. It's still a few hours before they come back." Justin grew quiet. He pondered the possibility of pulling this off. Ethan, if we get caught... Once again, are you Justin Shee or an imposter? He asked, circling him. Ethan, I can't afford to get in this kind of trouble. Again. Ethan pulled out his phone and opened his photo file, showing them to Justin. Tell me, is that not you in the art museum swinging from the chandelier by your legs while in your underwear? It is, Justin confessed, remembering drinking too much of a mixture called a French whore. Ethan swiped to the next image. Is this not you sliding down the railing with a shipping tycoon while his wife was away? It is. Where did you get those pictures? Justin asked, baffled. You drunk called me to gather all the best of the best to come over and see what the other side is like. Fuck, I have to stop doing that. Ethan swiped to another picture. Oh, come on, Ethan. He ignored him. Is that not you, used as a canvas by an artist whose name I should not mention because he paid me not to? Justin stared at the vibrant landscape painted on his torso while he posed with his arms above his head and smiled at the camera. I look amazing. You always do. Remember, someone paid you to fuck it off of you? Someone paid me for a fuck? How much? $10K. $10K? $10,000? Yep. Did I take it? Yep. Justin racked his brain and did remember seeing a large sum of money in his bank account. He feared it was so many he wished was out of his life. So he quickly donated the money and closed the account. Who was it? Can't remember. Why didn't you stop me? You were wasted, and whenever anyone interfered when you were high, you turn on them and do it anyway. Now, focus, Mr. Shee, Ethan demanded, wanting to change the subject. Justin cringed from Ethan calling him Mr. He hated when he took his drinking too far. He wondered when Ethan said he turned on friends, did he become his father? Fine, let's do it. Justin surrendered, wanting to get his father out of his head. Follow me. Justin shook his head and followed Ethan to the back of the house with a small, stone, circular driveway and a back entrance. Ethan walked over to a storm basement and knocked on the door with his foot in rhythm. What's going on? Justin asked. You'll see. When the door opened, loud, rowdy music spilled out. Justin was shocked, but allowed Ethan to take his hand and pull him down the steps, closing the door behind them. Justin saw 20 to 30 people drinking, smoking, and dancing to vibrant music booming from upstairs. What do you think? Shouted Ethan over the music. It's bigger than I thought. Yeah, the owner remodeled the basement that's the length of the house. Justin glanced up, hearing the stomping and laughter. As you figured out, the rest of the party is upstairs. How come we couldn't hear the music outside? The place is soundproof. The owner reinforced the walls and windows because he had a phobia of outside noises. Any more questions? Justin danced while bodies slammed into him. He and Ethan went up to the first floor, where someone made a pop-up bar using the long dining room table that held the alcohol they brought in. Not caring, Justin lost his coat and shirt while he grabbed a random person's drink from their hand and swallowed the contents. Hands grabbed him from behind, pulling him into an embrace. He tried to fend them off until he heard Ethan speak into his ear. Come on, baby, let's go upstairs, said Ethan, draping Justin's t-shirt over his shoulder. I'm having too much fun, Justin said in a slur. Yeah, but I want to have fun with you alone. Justin normally would blow him off, but he wanted to thank Ethan for the invite and distraction. Justin turned to his friend and grinned. You, my friend, have full permission to do whatever you want with me. I'll take you up on that offer, said a voice that Justin recognized. He turned his head to see Sheriff Seth Hughes smiling at him. Ethan! Justin looked back to see Ethan gone. He's not going to save you, Justin, Seth said, moving to him. Justin moved out of reach when the room became quiet. Justin's head felt heavy, and being drunk, he couldn't see where he was going when he tripped over something. He hit the floor hard, looking to see what he stumbled on, finding Ethan lying on his back, unconscious. Ethan! Justin called. He can't hear you, Seth said, smiling. No one can.
Someone help, please!
He cried.
He's a madman!
Justin looked around, finding the once-packed crowd gone, leaving only Seth, Ethan, and himself alone in the basement. No one's going to help you, Justin. Justin searched frantically for an exit, but saw no front door, and the way he and Ethan came in was gone. The space looked different to him. There were writings covering the walls. He tried to make out the words, but they were in gibberish and began to glow like neon, causing pressure and humming in his head. Justin had to cover his ears as the words rang in his skull. "Smell that, Justin?" Seth asked. Justin tried to ignore him, then a strong scent of sulfur filled his nose. The sounds faded while Justin dropped his hands from his ears when he saw Seth pull out a lighter. "Gas!" Justin panted. Seth pressed a switch on his lighter without a word and sparked a flame. The ignition triggered a ball of flame that engulfed the room with Justin screaming out his last cry. Then everything went silent. Justin sat shaking with his eyes rolling in his head while he was bound to a beam. A man holding a bucket of ice water threw it at Justin, bringing his traumatic ordeal to a crashing halt. Justin gasped, awoken from his nightmare. "Should we let him rest, Father?" asked the man holding the bucket. Seth stood quiet for a moment before answering. "No. Continue with the treatment." Thank you for listening. This is a short story by D.B. Watson and read by me, A.J. Carter. If you would like to read more about these characters, you can find them in the Two-Timer series. You can find the Thriller series at Amazon.com under D.B. Watson/Two-Timer series and her website at twotimers.squarespace.com. If you would like to hire me, AJ Carter, to narrate your project, you can find me at aj.cartervo@gmail.com. Thank you, and see you next week.